Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. I opened up your e-paper today, Barbados today, and I saw this. It's on the front page, okay? The first page is on, and it never, a place that you live, where you live, it never needs to come to be like this, okay? There are people in there, there are children in there, and there are males going back and forth in this house, okay? In this house. I'm not saying that it's owned by a male. I'm not saying that it's owned by an old grandmother. I'm not saying anything about this house in particular, but I'm saying that many homes in Barbados that are being run down are occupied by 20-year-old, 30, 40, 50-year-old males. And they make money. If they're not making money one way, they're making money another way. Okay? So you are trying to tell me that they cannot buy a piece of board when they see that one piece of board is rotting. They cannot put a piece of board back take out the old one and put in the new. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to use a saw. You can't buy nails. You can't buy a hammer. You cannot tell me that they cannot go to a little carpentry class and learn how to do things like this. They do not know how to put traps for mice. You do not know how to spray for the bugs that eat your house. It's a spray. You just pull and spray. You don't know how to do that. In a lot of instances, it should never get degrade to look like this. Okay, where you are living, and you talk about pride and industry, it should never degrade to be like this because there are males around. Whether the male lives in this house or not, they're around and they see it. And if the person living in this house is having babies, there are males around. They're around and they're seeing this, okay? And if you could afford to have a baby, you could afford to buy a piece of wood. You could afford to buy a hammer. You could afford to buy a nail. You could afford to buy some tiles to fix the roof. You could afford to if you can afford to have a child, you can afford to do almost anything. So when you see this in your news, it's really a shame. It's a crying shame. And this is what is supposed to pull on your heartstrings. You're supposed to see this and think, oh, the government this and the government that. When you're talking about governments don't have money. It's the people paying into the government taxes. So the taxpayers owe you something. You're saying that the taxpayers owe you something because you're having kids. And because you have to buy Pampers, you can't buy wood. And because you have to buy milk and whatever else you need to take care of that baby, you can't buy a hammer and nails. And because the guys coming there don't see your house, they're just probably seeing you. They're not see. You're trying to say that because you fell down on the job. You fell down on the job. You fell down on the pride. You fell down on the industry. And because that you allow these things to happen to you, that taxpayers are supposed to pick up the tab. They're supposed to pick up the tab. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm telling you, Barbadians, I'm telling you, in a lot of cases like this, there are males around. They see it. How easy is it to buy one piece of wood when it happens? A stitch in time saves 9. You've heard of that, right? A stitch in time saves 9. Sherry Veronica.